The How to Train Your Dragon Ray Tracing Realistic Texture Pack Edition is here, and it stank. This movie might be one of, if not the most pointless live-action remakes we've gotten to date. The original How to Train Your Dragon is only 15 years old, and as far as animated family movies go, it's pretty much perfect. The animation still holds up quite well, the score's phenomenal, the story and characters are strong. This remake is very much in the same vein as The Lion King 2019, where they've taken a near-flawless movie and redone it shot for shot, almost line for line. This is despite the fact that the cast and crew members repeatedly stated that this would not be the case. Whilst I don't think this movie shits the bed quite as badly as The Lion King 2019, as is the case with that movie and many other remakes, a lot of the personality and charm is lost in the translation to live action. Many light-hearted comedic moments from the original are notably missing in this remake for seemingly no reason. Can't be having Toothless smack Hiccup in the face. Can't be having Hiccup fly through Toothless's plasma fireball. That just wouldn't work in live action. We can have a dragon falling on top of someone though, because that passes the realism smell test, but the others don't, I guess. There's also important scenes in the original that they just decided not to include in this remake. Notably, in the original right after the test drive scene, Hiccup learnt that dragons aren't fireproof on the inside, which helped him defeat the big scary red death dragon at the end. In the live action remake, however, that scene is missing for some unknown reason, but they still defeat the red death in the same way. Why would you cut that out, Dean? The movie is also nearly half an hour longer than the original animated film, for absolutely no reason. Nothing that was new in this remake added anything of value. For example, we get this running gag with Snotlout trying to make his dad proud, which was just kind of unnecessary. No one's walking out of this movie going, you know what, I am so glad they gave Snotlout more to do here. They don't really give the other trainees anything more to do, so it just kinda seems weird that they decided to do this. As for where the other 25 minutes or so comes from, they just extend scenes that really didn't need it. Nothing is really achieved in these added minutes, they don't particularly add anything of value, so what's the point? Given that this movie is basically a shot-for-shot remake, the majority of the most important scenes from the animated film are translated here. And they're all worse. Take the test drive sequence for instance. For some reason, in the moment where Hiccup loses control and he and Toothless start falling, they decided to add some choir music that does not match the visuals at all. They also chose to change the timings of the music to the visuals in the scene for seemingly no good reason. An example would be towards the end of the scene where Hiccup regains control and throws away his cheat sheet. The music hits right as he does this, but in the remake they decided to change it so the music hits after he's already been in control for like 5 seconds. In what way did this change make the scene more effective than it was originally? Another thing I struggle with in this movie, and have struggled with in plenty of other live-action remakes, is when they have the actors literally say the exact same lines as in the original, but they just deliver them worse. A lot of the line deliveries in this movie sound kinda wooden and forced. This is especially noticeable in some of the joke deliveries.
Can you not see that I have bigger problems? Winter is almost here, and I have an entire village to feed.
Yeah, between you and me, the village could do with a little less feeding, don't you think?
Can you not see that I have bigger problems? Winter is almost here, and I have an entire village to feed.
Between you and me, the village could do with a little less feeding.
Do you want to try that again? I mean, that was a decent first take. Do we have time for a no? Okay. It's not just the line deliveries either. There's numerous examples of the actors not showing nearly as much emotion as the characters in the animated movie. Let's just look at this side by side as an example. I mean, yeah, animation inherently lets you be more expressive, but come on, you've got the expression of someone who's stuck in a traffic jam on the motorway. I'm tired. What's that mark on my shoe? I stand in shit again? There yet? She's flying on top of a dragon for the first time, seeing these amazing sights, and she looks like me watching this movie. The thing is, despite all the criticisms I have of this movie, it's still nowhere near the worst of these hollow live-action remakes we've been getting. It doesn't completely misunderstand the point of the original movie like some of the other remakes have done. It doesn't seem ashamed of its animated counterpart. And it at least tries to remain faithful to the animated film. However, there is still a rather substantial drop in quality when we compare the two films. I honestly don't know why anyone would choose to watch the less expressive, visually duller reimagining that achieves less despite being nearly 30 minutes longer. I don't think we should be levying praise at a movie that literally copies something that already exists beat for beat. I was kinda hopeful that the fallout over the Snow White remake and the diminishing box office returns of both The Little Mermaid and Mufasa was a sign that people were finally getting tired of these rehashes. Unfortunately, however, Lilo and Stitch is looking like it's going to go on to gross the GDP of a third world country, and by the looks of things, there's actually quite a large group of people who seem to like this movie. So what the hell do I know?